Are you ready? It's going to be a rough ride today. Stick around. What up, everybody? This is Jeff Fox from The Jeff Fox Show. I want to invite you to a real Bahamian party. A great place that you can get the island food that I'm talking about as fish fry right here in beautiful Miami. Come to the backyard. Yeah, that's right. It's east of Miami, the backyard, where you can get that real fried fish, fried conch, grilled conch, any kind of way you want it, they will do it for you. Lobster, fish, chicken in the bag, shrimp, all kinds of great island eats right here in Miami Gardens and east of Miami. It's the Bahamian thing. Niceness. Pull up on east of Miami. Check out TJ and Cindy at east of Miami for the best Bahamian food. Best fish, the best chicken, the best conch, the best stewed fish. All right, they've got it all. Island food, 18014 Northwest 6th Place in Miami Gardens. I'm talking about the real deal, not the fake stuff. This is real Bahamians making real Bahamian food. In the backyard, come on and check out the vibes. East of Miami, 18014 Northwest 6th Place in Miami Gardens. Tell my man TJ Jeff Fox sent you. You heard it first right here on the Jeff Fox Show. It's for the best in your auto transport needs. Check out Express Auto Recovery in Miami and Fort Lauderdale. Why choose us? We provide nationwide coverage, fast and reliable service, competitive pricing, transport to any freight forwarder or dock of your choice, auction house experience, and we provide excellent customer service. Express Auto Recovery. Call them today. 786-858-0369. That's 786-858-0369. They provide towing services, accident towing, roadside services, tire change, transporting, towing, and they buy junk cars. Cheap prices, licensed and insured, fast and reliable services. Express Auto Recovery. Call them today, 786-858-0369. That's EAR, Express Auto Recovery. Tell them you heard it first on the Jeff.
Times he's been their leading rebounder 49 times. Bronny gets into the lane and scores.
Good play by Kyle.
He's at 10 points on a 5 for 7 night. James for 3. Yes!
The Jeff Fox Show, brought to you by Remix Sports Media.
What up, what up, what up? What's poppin', man? Put the music up.
Man, throw them up, baby. Throw them up. Throw them up.
Did you see Bronny James last night?
Yeah. And all the people that have been hating, young man recovered from a heart attack, trying to work his way back. How can you not root for somebody like that, regardless of who his daddy is? How can you not root for a dude, man? Dude almost died.
Bronny's like a man smoking at a gas station. He was blowing up. I stole that one from Martin Lawrence, I admit.
Hey man, hey, long you ain't gotta pay no royalties. You good, Jeff Fox? You good? Good
Hey,
morning.
Man. Good morning to you, sir. Good morning. Good morning. We're waiting on Jenny Jones to join us. I know she was on a mission yesterday, was checking out the Miami Open that's
Mm-hmm.
currently going on down here in South Florida. So lots of good stuff to get into today. And today's going to be one of those days. I'm just going to tell you that, when I was in my radio career, when I was with wherever I was, whether it was 790 The Ticket or 560 WQAM, there was some things that were good to talk about, and there were some things that my co-host and I hated to talk about, and that's um, people's sexuality and sports and politics,
Mm-hmm.
mainly politics, race, politics, and sex and sexuality. We hated those topics because you can't win those topics. You can't win those debates. They always lead to name calling and bad feelings and you know just bad vibes. And people would be angry. And even right now, like the last show we had, we talked about this, Fitz, for a little bit, where um people's feelings got really ruffled in what's been going on in the country. And it's hard for us to ignore it because whether RG3 and all these people going around in the country believe we should all just shut up and dribble and just stick to sports, ever since the beginning of time, when you think about Nazi Germany and Jesse Owens in the Olympics, sports and politics and racism have always kind of crossed paths, so to speak. Would you not agree with that?
Hey man, it's been like that for a
Been
long.
like, we didn't start it.
Nope.
It's been like that. It's been like that. It's been like that since the days of Jack Johnson, the heavyweight champion of the world in the early 1900s. Racism was a part of it. Like people wanted to see a white man go out there and knock him out. And he took pleasure in knocking out white dudes. And Major League Baseball had the color barrier, which famously Jackie Robinson, a name that's come up a lot in the last few days, famously broke the color barrier in baseball. And this whole DEI stuff that's going around in the country right now, like it's just like I want to agree with some people, folk. Some people, Fitz, who say keep politics out of my sports. I kind of want to agree with that, but I can't.
Jeff, if I can weigh in, I don't see how you separate the two, especially to my sports brethren and sisters who are watching us or listening to us. If you actually look at sports, think about how great each game is because of the collage, of the diversification.
Yep.
Look at how great, I just could touch folks who football. I'm a football guy. Look at how great a league the SEC in football is.
Right.
Of what we call the diversification, the mixture, opening up the lens, looking for a different. You see the players of all different colors and backgrounds. That is the best league by far, football. But for one time, it wasn't.
Right.
Look at how great baseball is of the mixture. Jeff, I think with cooks, they always talk about the more ingredients you can put in the stew, in the soup, the better. Isn't that what gumbo?
Mm-hmm.
You're making gumbo.
Yeah.
Sports is what we're watching is the ultimate gumbo. And what I'm against is people are trying to tell me gumbo's not good. They don't want the gumbo. They just want to go with one particular ingredient. They don't want to diversify the stew. And I disagree. And if I may, just my background from University of Miami, the first football team I really played on under Howard Schnellenberger, that was diversity at his end. Our center was from Canada.
Yeah.
Our guard was Cuban. Our right tackle was Italian. We had a mixture of people. Our running back, he was pretty much his brother was Archie Griffin. It was Keith Griffin, African American. Speedy
Really?
Neal,
Archie Griffin's brother played at the
Griffin.
U.
Yeah, Keith Griffin. His brother was a two-time winner, Archie Griffin. And then we're sitting there with Bernie Kosar from Ohio. That is the ultimate mixture gumbo.
Isn't it beautiful? Wasn't it beautiful?
Beautiful. We would not have won without all of those ingredients, diversification of our team. That is why we talk about politics. To me, sports should lead the way to our politicians because they can see how making a gumbo, what goes into it. That's why the games are better.
Yeah. But I mean, even with the controversy that comes along with it, and you're watching the Jeff Fox show with Fitz Davis and Jenny Jones, even with the controversy that comes with it, you look back in the history, and I mentioned the Olympics, when Jesse Owens ran the 100. Remember the power structure? Remember that famous photo from 1968?
Yeah, Tommy.
Yep.
In Mexico City.
In Mexico City. You remember the 72 Olympics when the Israel
They
Munich
assassinated.
Olympics. Yeah.
They killed some Israeli athletes, man. They held them hostage. It was horrible.
It was
That
horrible.
mixed politics that was one of the first times in sports where they really brought politics into sports. That was horrendous.
Yeah.
That was happening live.
It was. It was on, and it was on ABC, and the world had to watch it. So what I'm saying is, politics has always, again, crossed paths with sports. It's unavoidable. You can't avoid it. It's gonna happen. There was a color barrier in Major League Baseball. There was a color barrier in the NBA. There was a color barrier in everything because America has the past is what it is. It has a very dark history when it comes to race in this country. And I don't have the answers, bro. I don't have all the answers, but I know one thing: you got to talk about it. You got to at least talk about it. And the name Jackie Robinson came up a lot in the last few days because as the current administration is carrying out, their work on what they do, there is an attack on DEI, and it's become a prominent subject in all the sports right now. And some people are pushing back, and some people think we need to leave that to the newscasters and stay the hell out of it and shut up and dribble and just talk about who beat who and by how much and leave the politics to the politicians. How do you feel about that?
I think the sports, no, we shouldn't shut up and dribble. And I think sports should be the lead dog in this thing. Because, again, when you look at sports, basketball, football, baseball, it is the ultimate, like I say, gumbo of where you bring people in, different cultures, different folks, and how the product is better. It's a better product. Jeff, I hear this, and this is to folks. The most brilliant financial people in the world talk about diversifying your portfolio with your money. The most brilliant people don't put all your eggs in one basket. They talk about having a little of this, that, to where you have a hodgepodge of stocks, bonds, what have you. They say you have a better opportunity for 401k growing and such. If that's awesome for diversification, diversity, why would you not do that then in your businesses, your hiring?
Yeah.
All to me, it means is that you're just opening up your lens as opposed to closing your lens.
Yeah.
And I just don't see how opening your lens or diversifying your portfolio can hurt your business. I see it. It's definitely helped sports. We're watching it live.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I like watching everybody voice their opinion on this subject. I like what Mina Kimes had to say. Mina Kimes, rather, from ESPN. Some people are calling for her to be fired. Stephen A. Smith has jumped into it. RG3 had something to say, and Twitter went wild yesterday on all of this. And people get so emotional and bent out of shape. And like, how dare you disrespect the name of Jackie Robinson, an American hero,
Hero. Hero.
not a black hero, an American hero. Like, why can't people see that distinction and call it what it is? You know, and to think that his name would be removed from the history books is blasphemy. Should never happen, should never be considered. And I would hope what happened the other day when it was briefly removed was a mistake and an honest mistake.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. How can it even be briefly removed?
Yeah.
Robinson.
And I must commend my friend Stephen A. Smith, who does not see it as a mistake. As a matter of fact, yesterday on the 4-Letter Network, he said as much.
Sure. President Trump, I'm happy to sit down with you to have that conversation, sir. I'd love for you to try to defend it. Vice President Vance, you too. Pete Hegseth, you too. Stephen A. Smith is calling you out on national television. I'd love for you to sit down with the cameras rolling and try to defend this. It's ridiculous. Go ahead, Molly.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Again, Stephen.
Stephen A., who tends to stand standing on business right there, like he's challenging the president of the United States and the vice president and anybody else on the attack on DEI diversity. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like
Jeff,
that, you know.
Jeff, I'm a business major, love football, but I love history. And I love reading about history.
Yeah.
Love this history. When you actually look at our country, United States of America, it was founded on a lot of diversity,
Right.
religion, being able to practice the Puritans, the Quakers, different religions came in, right? It's what this country started with. Then they say like welcome all, but Statue of Liberty, bringing folks from Italian background, Polish, wherever you from, come in here. Different people that built this country.
Yep.
Built it. So I'm like, to tear away, when you talk about diversity and make it a bad word, that just tears away from what America is about. It is that's what they used to call it, the melting pot. That's the term. I didn't make it up, but they call United States the melting pot.
Yeah. And Fitz Davis, you know, you've come on this show lots of times with different jerseys, you know, the great Negro League All-Stars. And I mean, we shouldn't have had a separate league in the first place, but that's something you got to be proud of when you think of the history of where our athletes have come from and what they've gone through. And if you listen to this great Negro leaguer, the great Buck O'Neil, I think this is Buck O'Neil. Check this out.
Well, on my day when we played the New York Yankees today, I think we might have beaten them.
Really?
And we played that day. We know we played Major League All-Star. Mm-hmm. We won the majority of the games from the Major League All-Star. But it wasn't that we were better than the Major League All-Stars, but the fact is the Major League All-Stars were actually just making a payday. But we had to prove, we were trying to prove to the world that they weren't superior because they were white.
Right.
And we weren't inferior because we were black.
Yeah.
We had a point to prove. So we would stretch that single into a double, that double into a triple, that triple into a home run.
Did you, tell us about Jackie Robinson.
Ooh, outstanding individual. And Jackie was so different than we were because we were acclimated to segregation. But not Jackie. Jackie came to the Monarchs in 1945. We've been going to a filling station in Oklahoma for 20 years, the Monarchs. We'd never gone to the restroom because on the door it said for white men only. So Jack is there, and we played that night in this town, and the next day we go to the filling station to get some gas. The man put the hose in the tank, said, "Oh, you boys were wonderful as usual." They filled the park up. "Good to see you." Jackie got off the bus, started walking to the restroom. He said, "Boy, where you going?" I said, "I'm going to the restroom." He said, "Boy, you know you can't go to that restroom." Jackie said, "Take the hose out the tank." Now the man thought then, because we got a 50-gallon tank on this side. We got a 50-gallon tank on that other side. He's not going to sell that much gas, to one customer until we got back there again. You know what he said? "You boys can go to the restroom, but don't stay long."
Wow, man. I mean, the stuff that our athletes have had to go through, but for DEI to be an issue now, where every time you turn on the news, you can't even watch a ball game, you can't enjoy the games. There's always something going on, and this is America. Like even the great Muhammad Ali, the stuff he went through, And my whole point of all of this, Fitz, is you can't tell sportscasters, sports hosts, be it men or women, to shut up, to leave it to the news media, to leave it to the politicians, because racism in politics, sports didn't go to racism and politics. Politics and racism came to sports. So it's unavoidable. And what Buck O'Neill went through was unavoidable. What Jackie Robinson went through was unavoidable. What Muhammad Ali went through was unavoidable. You see the trend here? What Doug Williams, the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl, went through was unavoidable. I remember as a kid, Jimmy the Greek on CBS saying that black people were only good enough to be athletes. They couldn't play quarterback.
Yes,
remember the controversy with the Dodgers and Al
Campanis.
Yeah. All of that stuff came up. Like, we weren't supposed to be thinkers. Like, the thought of a Barack Obama existing in America was probably something that no one would ever think about during that time. A black president? Are you kidding me? A black man being the leader of the free world? Hell no. Come on, man.
Jeff, even when you think about those statements you just made, you said about Jimmy the Greek and Al Campanis, still, the leaders of the sports industry saw the merge of the diversity, and they saw how it works to make money, right? And they saw, you can better your product. And I give you one like I get about history to our friends out here listening to us. Bear Bryant scheduled USC, I think it was back in 1970 or is it 69, where with Sam the Bam Cunningham, they went to Alabama. Bear Bryant had been at Kentucky, he had been at Texas A&M, but he wanted to be able to recruit African-American players to bring them to Alabama to better his team.
Right.
We brought that game, and people say to this day, when USC beat Alabama, that led to the integration of the SEC because the Alabama fans saw Sam the Bam Cunningham. I think he scored 3 touchdowns. I think he ran for 130 yards. This is Randall Cunningham's brother.
Right.
And they dominated.
I remember his number.
They dominated Alabama in that game. Bear Bryant was then the politicians and whatever in the state of Alabama saw that. And Bear's point was, you see, being able to open our lens, it not only helps our team, it's good for business. So that's one that you started really seeing the integration of where more African-American players were going to the SEC. And then I think it started with Alabama, where they started getting their first black recruits. And then once Bear did it, just opened it up. But my point is this. Sports keeps showing the nation, the politicians who are stuck. And you just watch how, even though Al Capanis might have said that, you know, they bring Fernando Valenzuela, you know, or they mix the game, bring the game better. Man,
Yeah.
sports is a leader. And if you are involved in sports, you should know we lead the way. Sports leads the way. Then the politicians and stuff follow us. They follow us in sports. We
You
don't
know,
follow them.
I became a Raider fan because my dad pointed something out to me when I was watching the game, and he might be watching the show right now. What's up, sir?
What's up, Mr. Fox?
Yeah, and we were watching the Raiders against the Steelers, I think, and Lyle Alzado, who was playing for the Raiders, was hugging another player. Well, he took a towel that another player used to wipe sweat off of his face. Alzado took the same towel and wiped the sweat off of his face.
I think that was Otis Sistrunk. Was that?
Yeah,
Was that-
yes.
Yep.
How do you know that? Like, that's awesome. Yes, it was Otis Sistrunk. Oh my God, Pitch, you're awesome.
Thank
Like,
you.
yeah, that's what I was talking about. And like, we're brothers. We're in the foxhole. We're going to battle together. I'm your brother. You're my brother. I have your back. I don't care if you're black or you're white or green or purple or yellow. You are my teammate. We're going to win together.
Jeff Fox, when you're at Green Tree practice field, those couple of years I played, and we're going through spring drills, and our coaches are having us run different type of drills where you're running and you're sweating and you got to make it by a certain amount of time. We used to do gassers where you go up, back, across the field. Now you're lined up in a position group and you got a mixture of people, white, black, Hispanic in the group. Trust me, we all have to make it under a certain time. We're pulling for each other and we're pulling them along to make it because it's all about us together. Like you said in the foxhole, now no pun intended.
Yeah.
We're trying to do it as a team, as a group. You're not looking at that guy being Cuban or black or white. Hey man, we got to do this under 45 seconds or 30 seconds as wide receivers. We're pulling each other, man, across the line because that is the goal. Is to beat what the coach says. You know, you're not looking at what that guy, his religion, whatever. And what you're hitting on, man, like with Otis Sistrunk, hey man, we're trying to win the game.
Yeah, by any means necessary.
Yeah.
We want to be the best. And see, I think the world can learn from sports because
Yes,
I'm
sports.
watching the Syracuse Orangemen. There was a movie I watched earlier this week about the great Ernie Davis.
Ernie Davis, number 44.
Yeah. Now,
That's
that was
where it
before
came
my-
from. Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
a
that's
little
the
before
legend.
my time,
Yep.
but
Ernie Davis. He never got to play. He was going to play with Jim Brown.
he was, yeah.
Yeah, and he never got to play. He won the Heisman. He was the best player, and he had come from the same school, Syracuse, that Jim Brown had come to.
Yep.
So he was going to number 44, and he passed away. I think he had leukemia or whatever. It was so
Yeah.
sad, almost
Yeah.
like Lynn Bias. So everyone knew how great he was going to be.
Yeah.
Ernie Davis. And then Syracuse has held on to the legacy, number 44. So wearing that jersey goes back to Ernie Davis, which you talked about, Jeff. And
I love the movie. And, it's actually, like you said, a true story. It really happened. And I remember watching the Orange go against Texas, who was then like the dominant team in America, all white team, and they wanted a piece of Ernie Davis. And he was killing them, and then when they get close to the goal line, I think they were playing Alabama or somebody in another game, and they didn't want him to score the touchdown. Like, you had to, he would run the ball all the way down the field, but when they got close to the goal line, the coach had to try and let a white running back run the ball in the end zone. So all I'm saying is all of the drama and the controversy of the last few days in the media, the whole DEI thing, trying to eliminate the history of the Tuskegee Airmen and all that stuff, and Jackie Robinson and all that stuff is nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
So people shouldn't be surprised when people in sports have opinions on the history of this country.
Exactly.
And it does affect sports as well.
History of the world. Hey, man, whatever is going on, sports is going to pull us through this.
Yeah.
The sports people, the athletes are going to pull us through this because they truly understand about widening the lens and having whomever on the team that can get it done.
Yeah.
And not looking at, is this guy this, is that. You want to win. And I'm holding out hope that America wants to win, continue to win. And I just believe, man, it's got to be a gumbo, man. You need gumbo.
Yeah.
Just think about it. What makes gumbo so good? Everything that's in it, man.
The melting pot. Mix
Yes,
it
sir.
all up.
Andouille sausage, shrimp.
Yeah.
Come on, Stu. Hey, come on. Everything you throw in it. I got to watch some people throwing crickets in there. We got to watch them. Now, I draw the line on crickets. But
yes, sir.
It's not a meat.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, we're going to talk NCAA basketball tournament is going on right now, March Madness. I mentioned Jenny was at the Miami Open yesterday. Maybe she had one or two too many drinks. I don't know. But
come on, Jenny.
Jenny's on the sideline today, and we're going to hold it down for her as she recovers from that. But we'll be right back, man. We're going to talk more sports and entertainment here on the Jeff Fox Show on a Friday. Be right back.
Well, I think most white Americans have their head in the sand in terms of race relations. White America is saying law and order. You got to abide by it. But in their hearts, law and order means simply holding black men.
Well, on my day when we played the New York Yankees today, I think we might have beaten them.
Really?
And we played that day. We know we played Major League All-Star. Mm-hmm. We won the majority of the games from the Negro at the Major League All-Star. But it wasn't that we were better than the Major League All-Stars, but the fact is the Major League All-Stars were actually just making a payday. But we had to prove, we were trying to prove to the world that they weren't superior because they were white.
Right.
And we weren't inferior because we were black.
Yeah.
We had a point to prove. So we would stretch that single into a double, that double into a triple, that triple into a home run.
Did you,
Jenny Jones?
What, Jeff? What?
I made it big. I'm rich.
Oh, Rich.
I'm rich.
Okay.
I'm rich. I'm rich. So last night, I bet on the WNBA playoffs at the Hard Rock Bets. I bet $10.
Okay.
And I won not 50, not 100.
How much?
Not 150. I won $230.
Yay!
Yes.
Yes. And as the co-host, I'm sure I'm the beneficiary of at least 30 of that, right? What?
We're gonna have to talk about it.
Oh, we're having technical difficulties over there, Jeff? What?
Didn't quite hear. I didn't quite hear.
Yeah, you heard me.
But yeah, man, I came up.
They tie it up with only seconds left. Quick inbound across half court. This is to win. It's up. It's
There's so much written about culture today, and a lot of it in reference to the Heat, that a lot of people want to throw up. They're tired of hearing about it.
Yeah.
And that, like, it's almost like, are they the only ones that have a culture? No, everybody has a culture, and a culture is simply a shared vision and of what it is you want to do to get to where it is you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a shared vision of what you have to do to get there. And so it's up to the coach to create the philosophy. It's not just the acronyms of hardest working, best conditioned, most professional, unselfish, toughest, nastiest, meanest, disliked team in the league, whatever. Whatever that moniker is, you can take each one of those acronyms and you can talk about that for 30 minutes, hard work, conditioning, and what it takes and all that stuff. And so once you set the tone about what your philosophy is going to be, and you have to then paint the picture, and it's like an image. You
That's the great Patrick Riley. And I want to be very clear here, Fitz Davis. That man. I read a stat this morning. Pat Riley has been a part of 24.2% of all NBA finals in history. Now, I don't know how accurate that is. It could be, it may not be. I can't verify that, but that's what I read on some kind of blog or something this morning. Pat Riley is greatness personified. And the reason I'm saying that is, well, he celebrated his 80th birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to the great Pat Riley.
Now watch yourself, young fella.
Yeah, there goes Jenny. I know with the whole clickbait stuff. I'm giving Pat his flowers. Pat Riley is the greatest sports executive in South Florida sports history. Greater than anyone. Greater than Jimmy Johnson. Greater than Don Shula.
Watch yourself, young. Hey, watch yourself.
There is no one greater than Pat Riley, the Godfather. Correct?
I watch yourself, young fella.
I'm just saying, though.
I know you just said, watch yourself.
The Armani suits, the slick hair.
They're gonna revoke your Don Shula Expressway pass.
The handful of rings. Oh no, I'm giving Pat Riley his flowers. Udonis said it on NBA TV the other day. Pat Riley is South Florida sports. Like, he is that guy. There's never been a greater winner. He made us relevant.
Jeff Fox, I know we got listeners. I love you, brother. I love you like a brother. But I'm not going to let you just get away with that. I know it's his birthday.
No, I'm giving him his flowers.
I'm giving him too, but I ain't going to say he's the GOAT of South Florida.
Who is? Who is greater than?
If you talk South Florida,
South Florida,
you can't say GOAT without Shula.
Get out of here, man.
You can stop it, man. Don Shula. I should drive the Shula Expressway.
Nah.
Stop it.
I mean, Shula's Steakhouse was kind of decent back
then. But I'm talking the highway, the road. The Mr. Perfect season, 17-0, 2 Super Bowls in a row. He put South Florida on the map, Jeff Fox.
You make a valid argument. But
I will say this. We can separate Pat and Shula for eras. You would say the last 25 years is Pat Riley, hands down. But you could say from maybe 68 to 95. Hey, that's Don Shula. He left. Remember, he retired with the most wins. When he left football, he had the most wins. Don Shula.
I did grow up hating the Dolphins. Not gonna lie, I did. I hated the Dolphins as a kid growing up.
Jeff, well, you're a Raiders fan. Come on, man.
I grew up hating the Dolphins. I did. Never liked them. Pretty.
All the biases.
Yeah. But Don Shula. Pat Riley.
Don Shula, Pat Riley.
Shula was on the rules committee. So I thought the Dolphins got a lot of calls.
Hey, I like this conversation, Jeff. Let's create a what's that furthest in the world? They say the four in the West Coast. It's throwing me when we put the four great presidents on the wall.
Mount Rushmore.
Okay, the Mount Rushmore of South Florida. We got Shula.
I mean, yeah, we could do that.
Pat Riley. What other two do we put on there for South Florida Mount Rushmore? Let's take it from Palm Beach down, Palm Beach County down. Who is the South Florida Mount Rushmore sports? I
was just thinking in terms of leadership, in terms of being a coach or a front office executive. I think no one has been more successful than Pat Riley. And
no disagreement.
Don Shula is definitely on that level. I have to give you that.
I got one for you.
Yeah.
I got two that we can debate. How about Jimmy Johnson and Howard Schnellenberger? Howard Schnellenberger for what he did at Florida Atlantic.
Yeah, I think Pat Riley's just bigger.
Mm-hmm. No,
and he's won multiple championships, both as a head coach and an executive. So to me, that puts Pat Riley first. Like I would if I had to rank everybody, I would rank Pat Riley first, and I would rank Don Shula a close second.
Ooh.
Because 17-0 is 17-0. No one else has ever done it. No one else has ever done it.
I flip him. That's why I flip him. Because he's done something Pat Riley ain't never done. No one's done it. So Shula 1, Pat Riley 2. Let's go, Jeff Fox. Keep going, baby.
I can't do it. I can't agree with you. We're going to have to agree to disagree because
we have to agree to disagree.
As much as I'm standing by Pat Riley's side as during this debate, and I hate to bring it up on his birthday, but I do think it's time, to head down to Key West and join Jimmy on one of those boats and go fishing, man. Like, you ain't got nothing to prove, Pat. Like,
Well, how about this? If we weren't just doing sports, but we put Jimmy Buffett on there with Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, man. Live the life, man. You deserve it.
The South Florida. No, but Jimmy Buffett's not sports. But I would say those two gentlemen we talked about who we agree to disagree. One A. I'm not, I'm not going to die on that hill. If you want to go with Pat Riley, I give you Pat Riley. But Don Shula, I tell you what, he ain't taking much. Okay.
Here's what they have in common. When you hear their former players, like Jenny and I did a live broadcast from the Hard Rock, and we had who was the guy? He went to US. Roy Foster. Roy Foster, who used to block for Marcus Allen.
Yeah, Roy Foster, USC.
Yeah. Yep. USC.
Yeah, big guard.
Roy Foster was there, and we talked about what it was like playing for Shula. And the way he talked so glowingly, like almost like a father figure. That was Don Shula.
Mm-hmm.
And he had great iconic players. Mercury Morris, Jim Kick.
Right. I got one for you.
Those guys.
You remember Dwight Stevenson?
Yes, sir.
He used to come to University of Miami, and play basketball and work out. One of the nicest guys you ever want to meet, Dwight Stevenson. He's in the Hall of Fame. He played under Shula for a bunch of years. One of the great centers, played under Bear Bryant, played under Don Shula. And he's come to University of Miami and work out all the time. Just great. And I think he played with Foster. They might have played together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when you hear former players, and I'm talking about great former players, talk up so glowingly about these leaders of men, these great iconic figures, you see where the respect is. you get to understand the respect. Like recently, during the whole Pat Riley versus Jimmy Butler thing that was going on here in South Florida, which
No, they're in different industries.
yeah. Jimmy Butler will be back here in South Florida next.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler will be here Tuesday. I took some shots at Pat Riley, and I felt yesterday being his birthday, I was like, wow, I was really disrespectful. Like, you don't disrespect Pat Riley. So I felt compelled to come in here today and honor the man and honor him on his birthday. And I watched Magic Johnson, and I watched James Worthing, and I watched Dwayne Wade and Udonis Haslam and everybody that's played under Pat Riley talk about this guy like he's an iconic godlike figure, like, because he was. Pat Riley made basketball in South Florida relevant. We have multiple championships because of Pat Riley. Pat Riley is Heat culture. He's all of that. I just feel also like the time has come. That's all.
I want to say good morning to Rodney and Jewel, and to jump on that piece here that you just said. This is where I want to go, Jeff Fox. When do we see when our heroes lose their fastball? And when we, as fans, say, you know what, it's time to not only give them a rocking chair, not the flower, but the rocking chair.
Yeah.
Jeff, I have watched this throughout different industries. Some of our greatest, they just don't know when to sit in the rocking chair, and they stay past their prime. And I think our fans listening know what I'm talking about. They just stay too long, and it's like we're torn whether to tell them, you know what, Jeff, you had a great run, 37 years as a manager, but the kind of game has passed you by.
Yeah.
And we're not denouncing your greatness for what you've done, but it's time to hand the baton. And I don't want to say this gentleman's name because it's his birthday, but Jeff, I can challenge you. There's quite a bit of guys that's still out there, coaches, general managers, players. I think they need to go get a rocking chair.
So you're saying it's time, right?
Oh my goodness. You could sit, man. I mean, but it's like the emperor has no clothes and no one wants to say anything. But we watch this.
So in your opinion, we're not being disrespectful.
Not being disrespectful.
Because I love Pat Riley. I really do.
I love him too.
Yes. I love the Miami Heat organization. They treat me, and I'm talking about my side. I've done Miami Heat halftime with Jason Jackson. I love the whole aura of Pat Riley. He brought LeBron. Well, he didn't really specifically do it. The guys did that themselves. I mean, he got credit for it, but you can't deny the legacy, the winning legacy that Pat Riley established here 30 years ago.
None.
Before Pat Riley came here, we were the laughing stock of the NBA. We had Pearl Washington playing guard, and Sherman Douglas and Ronnie Cycling. Mm-hmm. We just weren't good. And then he left the New York Knicks, and he came here and he built Heat culture.
The Heat came in at the same time, I believe, as was it the Hornets or the Magic? They came in together. Remember the franchises came with the Magic.
Yeah.
Look at the difference. The Heat has won 3 titles, have been to
multiple,
maybe 7 NBA champions. They've been to 7 NBA finals, I'm thinking. I know they lost 2 with LeBron. Yeah, they lost 2 with Jimmy, 2 with LeBron. They've been to 7 championship games? 7 NBA finals? They've won 3. And they haven't been around what? When did it start? 95, 96? Have they been around 30 years? 92? Okay. They're not even 40 years in, and they've been to 7 championships. And look, Sacramento Kings. They've never been. So Pat Riley's greatness is not to be. It's not even to be argued. It's not even to be discussed. It is what it is. What he has done.
Our co-host Jenny Jones has a question. She says, "Do you think that Mickey Harrison giving Pat Riley a court named after him is an indication that they are prepping for his exit, but on his own terms?"
Oh, that Jenny Jones, she's something.
Good question.
She got crystal ball, or she's like that guy from Michigan pulling emails and reading stuff.
It's a good question.
You're welcome, Joel.
I don't think that they did it just because Pat is getting ready to move on, but I think they really wanted to honor him. And I think it's great that the court is named the Pat Riley Court. Pat Riley talked to us about having that parade on Biscayne Boulevard when he came here in 1995. And guess what? We had that parade on Biscayne Boulevard.
I was a pretty good dancer at that time. And so I think it was called the motorcycle. They were doing the motorcycle or whatever it was that time. Go, coach! Go, coach! Go, coach! They look at me and laugh, but hey, coach, you got it going pretty good here. So we won our championship. We had our parade down Biscayne Boulevard, and man, did we have a lot of fun.
Nah, you can't dance shit. This ain't about dance.
Hey, Jeff Fox, I'm gonna call it like this. I think the Heat are probably 2 years past where the torch should have been passed to where I believe Eric should be running the show and getting someone else as the head coach, because I think he can run the organization. He knows enough about the Heat. He's worked his way through. He's got 2 titles as a head coach. He's been to multiple finals. He's got credibility. I think Spoelstra should be running it.
I disagree with you on that, but I do agree with you that there's no better coach in the NBA because he somehow manages to make chicken soup out of chicken, you know what? And but he's too much like Riley.
Well, let's play tennis, Jeff Fox. What's the difference between him and Brad Stevens?
Brad Stevens.
Mm-hmm. Who runs Boston?
Yeah, they've done a good job. They replaced Danny Ainge in the Celtic front office with Brad Stevens. I questioned the move at the time, but it's worked. And it's worked brilliantly for the Celtics, so I give them that. I don't think Spo would be as great an executive as he is a head coach.
I disagree.
Yeah. I mean, I doubted him before, and you know what? He shut me up by winning a couple of NBA championships because and Spo and I have talked. We've had this conversation. We've actually had this conversation. And I remember telling him to his face, I didn't think you were the guy, man. And I have it on video somewhere, Jenny Jones, and I will play it for you. And he's like, you know what? Keep doubting me. I like that.
See, as an outsider looking in, Spo, I watched how he came through the organization. He looks detailed, organized. He can do this.
I just want to see, to be honest with you, Alonzo Mourning. I'll take Alonzo Mourning. I'll take Udonis Haslem leading this organization into the future. One of those guys. Even a Caron Butler. Like, we need a different voice. As much as I love Pat Riley, he didn't exactly deliver once we got Jimmy Butler. I don't want to get into that whole controversy all over again, but Pat Riley, as my former co-host, well, not co-host, but my former colleague, from the radio station, Dan Lebatard, said Pat Riley, and we'll get Fitz-Davis back here on the show in a minute. There you go. Pat Riley, Fitz. I think the last 10 years or so since we've lost LeBron, it's just been hanging on by a thread, and he's too great. I don't want to see Pat Riley overstay. Like at the end, when you watch Patrick Ewing in New York playing basketball for the Knicks, it was sad.
Yeah,
you watched him
yeah.
at the end going to Seattle. Yeah, like, no. Hakeem Olajuwon in Toronto, no.
Shaq with Boston.
Yeah, Cleveland, no. Like, let Pat Riley be great forever. I think it's time for him to move on. And, you know, on the heels of Jimmy Butler coming back to South Florida to play the Heat, looking forward to it. I'm wondering what kind of reception Pat Riley is going to give him. And if any one of us knows Pat Riley's a competitor. He's fierce.
He's going to see that Jimmy Butler is a slight. Because they're both very competitive men, been very successful in their career. Like Jimmy was not a top draft choice when he came out. He's built himself into a star. But what you just said 10 minutes ago, you know, I mean, Pat Riley is a GOAT. You know, he built culture. And I can understand how he was not going to buckle to Jimmy Butler. I can get it. But somebody had to give in this situation between him and Butler.
Yeah, I mean, but
somebody had to give. And Butler is actually better for the Heat. And we've seen what the team has done since he's left. You know, he actually, Jeff, he didn't want to play. He wasn't putting out effort.
Yeah, but they're falling, and they're falling fast.
Yeah,
and
look how he's playing now at Golden State. Yeah, really, that's the same guy. He's played like almost every game.
Yeah,
I think he missed one game because of his back, but he's played like every game, Jeff, and that was not happening with the Heat.
Yeah, my point was just to give Pat his respect while also give him his respect while also calling for him to move on. And I'm not the only one.
The number one reason for divorce is money. It's finances. It's the number one reason people get divorced. The number one reason that people go from loving to hating is divorce. From love to hate. I will get to the macro criticisms that everyone wants of Pat Riley. He has absolutely failed over the last decade in a way that cannot be argued to get Jimmy Butler better help that he needed. He has been cursed by the fact, and Jimmy Butler was too, they're very good at making overachievers. But what do overachievers do? They achieve to the maximum of what their ceiling is, and Jimmy Butler's was never better than it was here. It was a spectacular relationship. It worked while it lasted. Jimmy Butler bailed Pat Riley out of Whiteside and Waiters. Of Whiteside and Waiters, Jimmy Butler covered a lot over the last 5 years for the Heat. Spoelstra covered a lot of for the Heat. But also, Jimmy Butler was the best Jimmy Butler here, and no one in the history of the Heat, other than LeBron, has done more for themselves by virtue of coming through the land of overachievers. When you carry Max Strus and Vincent to the finals, you get rewarded for that. So we will get to the criticism of the moment, because I know Heat fans are mad, and they should be, because they've been passed in the conference by a whole bunch of people who are more aggressive, and we all saw how close Boston and Miami were. We saw the changes Boston made, and we've seen Kyle Lowry. We've seen very little since Chris Bosh had to leave the team, other than getting Jimmy Butler. And so what ends up happening to the Miami Heat, we all know more than ever the last 5 years, they're great at making players better. We know it in a way that we don't really know it about any other team. Wow, I've seen.
Yeah, I agree with everything Dan Lebatard said. Everything. And
I disagree with him a lot, Jeff, but I have to agree. He hit a home run on that. That's a home run.
I agree with every single thing he said.
That's it.
About how Jimmy Butler was never better in his career than the day he came to Miami. And Pat Riley, kind of coming off of the success of the Big Three, Pat Riley failed to add. Can you imagine if you added 2 superstars? Maybe even just one? Because look at what Jimmy's doing in Golden State now. This isn't even playoff Jimmy.
Man.
This is an older version of Jimmy.
Yes. Jeff, I think I got in a conversation with you and Jenny. I'm going to take you back to when LeBron was there and they lost to San Antonio. Him, Bosh, and Wade had taken pay cuts. Can you imagine if Miami had made another move, Riley, to add one more star to go with them? To try to, because that was one of the pieces that LeBron left. He said, we need some more firepower. They could have added another player, maybe one over the luxury tax. They're still winning, Jeff.
Well, Pat Riley, I don't blame
Riley
him.
could have done it.
I don't blame him for that. Here's why I don't blame Pat Riley for LeBron leaving. LeBron wanted to leave. LeBron wanted to go back to Cleveland. LeBron wanted to really be the one to deliver them a championship, his hometown team. That was not a Pat Riley decision. Pat Riley pleaded with LeBron to stay here. In fact, sources tell me Pat Riley shed tears. And I would too if you watch LeBron James walk out the front door.
Yep.
Because walking out with him are potential championships.
Okay.
And Pat Riley was never given the chance. He was never given the chance to rebuild that Miami team that lost to the Spurs. Now, what Pat Riley could have done was just showed a little more humility in the fact that he challenged LeBron and it worked against him. Now, that if LeBron was more Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant than he is LeBron James, that might have worked. You know what? The job ain't finished.
Okay.
You know, come back and let's go get him next year. But LeBron had already checked out.
Well, here's my debate to that. That's an excellent point, Jeff. Now I'll give you that point. But then after LeBron left, who did he bring in to complement with Wade? Because he let Wade leave too. Wade needed some help, and he could have gotten somebody of LeBron's ilk to go with Wade. Wade ended up leaving, a year or two later, and actually he was playing with Cleveland for a minute. He was with Chicago, then I saw him with Cleveland. Then he eventually, Dwayne Wade should have never been in a Cleveland jersey.
Oh, he fumbled that. He did.
Yes, he did. Now, I don't argue him being a great, like we started the conversation with, one of the greatest South Florida. The 10 championships and everything. But you just said something. Can you imagine what just a little bit of humility and just bending just a little bit to maybe LeBron, leaving a little bit to Jimmy Butler?
But
just a little bit.
Yeah, but that's not Pat Riley. It's not who he is.
Boy, you wonder how great he really could have been.
He's there's no could have. He's great.
No doubt.
He's great. He's everything. He's South Florida basketball. There will never be a greater Miami Heat executive or head coach than Pat Riley. He's always going to be numero uno.
No doubt.
When it comes to the Miami Heat.
No doubt.
That's been established. The only thing you can do now, Pat Riley, as an executive, is hurt it by continuing to put out these YMCA guy teams. The Heat are terrible right now. They're terrible.
Hey, I mentioned about 3 weeks ago, I said after the Jimmy Butler deal, I said they're going to make the playoffs they'll get in the play-in. They'll probably get knocked out. But I said, but even if they say they win a game and they become a 7 or 8 seed, you think they got a chance against Cleveland and Boston?
Hell no. But what one thing that Riles has always done is rebuild this team. And I think it's time to pass the torch to one of the younger guys and let them rebuild this organization. Pat Riley, you have done enough. You have nothing else to prove to anybody in the basketball universe. You are welcome to go to the beautiful Keys where Jimmy likes to hang out, Jimmy Johnson. You deserve that.
If I'm
Riley needs to live the life of Riley. Get it? Live the life of Riley. Yeah.
Yeah, the movie. Hey, if I'm the Heat, and this is true, I would do this March 21st. I would move Eric Spoelstra.
No.
Hold on. Eric Spoelstra runs the show. I would go after the coach for the Houston Rockets. I would make him one of the highest paid coaches, Emi Udoka, that gentleman. And I would put him combined with Eric Spoelstra. We spend money. The Heat will win a championship within 4 years. The place attracts people. They just don't make it. This is South Florida, man. Miami. Come on, man. They can get guys LA get. They got no tax, no state income tax, great weather. Come on. They got championships. They got everything down there to win. Just the want. They need the want to right now. But they've got everything.
You know what? I kind of like that. I kind of like that. I kind of like the idea of a different voice on the sideline. And if there's a coach around the league that exhibits Miami Heat culture and mannerisms, it might be that guy in Houston.
That guy, I understand whatever happened in Boston, why they had to remove him. But when you just look at what he does on the sidelines,
he's good. He's good.
I can't name you three or four guys better than him. Look where Houston Rockets are with all them young guys.
Number 5 in the East, man. Number 5.
The Rockets.
Udoka
is a bad dude.
I'm sorry, my bad on that. Not number 5 in the East. I'm thinking about the dude in Detroit, JB Bickerstaff, who's also
he's nice, but the Houston guy.
But he reminds me of Udoka. Udoka is another level.
Either one of those guys. I think Bickerstaff, because he comes from Bernie Bickerstaff, he's got the legacy. He's like I said, the nuts don't fall far from the tree. But to me, the Udoka at Houston, I would put him with Eric Spoelstra. You got a powerhouse, and like you let Udoka be like Popovich.
It's nice to dream. It's nice to. It is. It's nice to dream of what could be in terms of what this team could be here. And again, Jimmy comes back next week. Do we roll out the video? Do we? Jimmy Butler, Jenny Jones always talks about it. She remembers Jimmy bent over the scorer's table, exhausted, trying his best to lead this team to a championship and coming up just a little bit short because Pat Riley didn't deliver another A-list, another whale to help Jimmy get over the hump. Do we give Jimmy the tribute video? Do we give him a piece of the court? Do we shower Jimmy with love? Because we all love Jimmy. Now, we hated the divorce that Levitard talked about, but we do love Jimmy. Like, I love Jimmy. I was there. Playoff Jimmy was the closest thing that I've ever come in my life to seeing a Michael Jordan type moment by one guy right in front of me on the court. I've never seen anything like playoff Jimmy other than very young Dwayne Wade. That's the only player that I would compare to playoff Jimmy. LeBron in his prime in Heat Prime, that's another topic entirely because I know people want to come for me. What about LeBron? Like that was the best of LeBron when he was here in Miami. He'll never be better than that LeBron. But that shimmy, playoff shimmy.
Oh yeah. No debate with playoff Jimmy, but you said about giving them flowers right now. I just broke up with my girlfriend a couple months ago over whatever reason. And I'm watching her. She's with the All-American quarterback with his convertible vet. And my Plymouth now is having issues. I had a nice, but I'm having issues. And she really looks good right now. You think I'm inviting her over for a family reunion dinner? Because she has been to a couple, and she's going to bring her boyfriend with her to the family reunion dinner. It ain't happening, Jeff Fox. It's too soon to come for a family reunion.
I agree. But you got to be classy as well. You can't come off as being bitter. Like, I don't know. Yeah, you might be right, Fitz.
It's too
maybe
soon.
not next week, right? Yeah, Jenny said it also. It's too soon.
Too
Love
soon.
Jimmy, but I think it's too soon. But he'll be here Tuesday. Like, what kind of do you think they're going to boo Jimmy? Or are they going to cheer him? Like, what would you think? The crowd. The Heat fans.
Jeff, my mama liked my ex-girlfriend. Really liked her a lot. Thought she was the one.
Right.
Well, I still love so-and-so. Fitz, can she come? No, mama, she cannot come.
Yeah.
She can't come to Memorial Day. No.
Well, unfortunately for Heat fans, they're on a historic losing streak under Eric Spoelstra. Never lost so many games in a row. They can't beat the G League team in all probability at this rate. They're stinking it up down the stretch in close games. They pass the ball around like a hot potato. There's no guy that's going to take this shot. Tyler Hero, I think, has maxed out. Bam Adebayo is maxed out. We have no talent.
Jeff.
We have to rebuild.
Jeff, we said this when this went down. I said they've got to blow this thing up and get lottery. You just can't stay being the 7th worst 10. You gotta go. You gotta bottom out, man. Keep Khalil Ware that we talked about maybe as a building block. Maybe the guy they just drafted out of which school he's out of the young guy they got. But
I like Khalil Ware.
Yeah,
I really
they got to
like
blow this thing up, Jeff. They got to blow it up, and I think Spoelstra could be the guy when they blow it up to be top. I don't think Pat Riley can blow this thing up at 80 and run this thing, man. It's going to take a lot of work to build this thing back up at Miami. This is not a bring in Kevin Durant fix. You know what? I bring in a veteran superstar fix. No, Jeff, you have fundamental stuff.
I agree.
The foundation is cracked, bro.
And the more I think about it, Fitz, the more I don't disagree with you as much when it comes to Eric Spoelstra moving up in the organization. You might be onto something, sir. You might be onto something.
Who else knows Miami Heat other than Pat Riley and Mickey Harrison? Who knows the Heat better?
Well, I mean, UD. And he's got relationships in the NBA right now. It's all about relationships. You ever watch the end of an NBA game? It's like a family reunion. Everybody loves everybody. You know, they're hugging and kissing and, making dinner plans and vacation. It's like a big old boys club.
Yeah. You got James Jones. You got James Jones out there too, who played with the Heat for a long time, played at the University of Miami. He's GM with the Suns. He would be an option too.
He might need a change of scenery.
Yeah,
considering the way things are going right now.
The Suns thing is over.
James Jones is a very good name.
Yeah, another one.
Very good name to bring up.
Yeah.
Leave Phoenix, come back home to Miami. He's a Miami kid. Played high school basketball down here.
Yeah, he's South Florida guy. He's South Florida guy. Yeah, James Jones. He played with the Heat. He's got championships.
Jenny Jones has a take, she says. She sees a mixture of booze, probably more booze because of how he left. Okay. When Jimmy comes back Tuesday, I love the idea. It's even more of maybe Eric Spoelstra staying in that head coach seat. And again, not being disrespectful to the great Pat Riley at all. But James Jones coming back to Miami intrigues me. James Jones.
Yeah, he's remember he's apprenticed at other. We can't say he doesn't know what he's doing. He would not be a DEI hire. No, he's been general manager.
Mm-hmm.
He's done it. He's played here in Miami. He's got championships. He brings credibility.
Yeah,
Something, either him or Spoelstra. But Miami's got the Heat. It is time for Act 2. We love the first act with Harrison and Pat Riley. We loved it. But
we're thinking of the future here.
Yeah, we got to go Act 2.
Miami basketball.
This is where organizations and franchises, Jeff, I've watched for years, they just will not turn the page.
Mm-hmm. Not hung on too long. I agree. Jenny Jones said she originally said Spo was the one to take over for Pat Riley, so kind of stole that from her. So she just really wanted to point that out.
Jenny say we're stealing from her now.
Yeah.
I'm the one said it was me.
Yeah. So
Jeff, quickly, we've covered this thing with Jimmy coming back. We talked a little bit about sports and politics. Isn't it amazing the elephant in the room that we haven't addressed is the NCAA final, the tournament going on, the first round of games.
Yeah,
I was
just about to tell you.
I fell asleep on some games yesterday.
I have a new favorite team in the tournament since the Canes aren't in it.
Okay.
The first day is always the greatest day in the March Madness tournament. The ladies, by the way, get underway today. I am rooting for Juju. I'm going with Juju and USC. I want to see them win it all. The guys got started yesterday, and immediately it always happens every year. There's a team, 12th ranked McNeese State, knocked off, I do believe, was it Clemson?
Yes.
Yeah. That's my team that I'm going to attach myself to. Now, they're not going to win it. They're not, but I just love Cinderella. The whole thing about the NCAA tournament is Cinderella. How long does the glass slipper stay on before it falls off? And I like the swag of McNeese State. Yeah, I like the swag, man. Like that. Coming out with the boombox.
Yes, sir. Jay Fox.
Went out there and kicked ass.
Jay, let me say this again now. I said this a couple of weeks ago. We talked about star power.
Yeah.
And how we thought the women's game, you just said about Juju. I looked at I challenged surfed around about multiple games. And I'm looking at the games. I think I saw some of Kansas was playing Arkansas. Right? Saw some of that game. I'm looking for a Juju, a star out there. My friend, did you see any star power? Somebody just had you mesmerized multiple games.
Nope. I mean, I like Cooper Flag.
Yeah. I think he plays today, right? He plays today. But yesterday, they played 16 games.
I know none of them just was. I know them. No, I didn't.
I saw some of the St. John's game. I'm looking. I'm like, someone said Milt Wagner's grandson was out there. And I'm like, damn, I'm really old. But
whoopsie damn dude.
But nobody out there. That's why Juju, she's must watch.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the men's tournament right now. And
The men's tournament is so bad that the video I just showed you, McNeese State,
Mm-hmm.
they have gone viral right now because 12th ranked McNeese State in their region, they're the 12th seed. They delivered the upset yesterday by beating number 5 Clemson 69-67. And they jumped out to a commanding 31-13 halftime lead. How do you score 13 points in a half, Clemson? But they held on to win their first ever NCAA tournament win. And that's not the story, Fitz Davis. The story is Amir Khan. He's the 5'7" dude you saw walking in front of those gang of basketball players with the boombox, rapping, dropping N-words, and just hip-hopping his way to an upset victory for the Cowboys. Like, how cool was that? I like McNeese State. And Amir Khan, that same 5'7" guy, got an NIL deal. Yes. Yes. He's gone viral. He's got an NIL deal now. Go figure. You gotta love March Madness, man. Like, we don't know the stars. They just always find an angle. And I love the whole McNeese State story and the whole Miracon. He's the team manager.
Hey, Jay Fox.
Deal. Come on, man.
For anyone that's a basketball fan, a sports fan, you got to put this on your bucket list.
Yeah.
Just attend a Final Four. You don't have to get tickets to the game. If you can be in the venue, like I think they're in San Antonio this year, or was it Phoenix? They're saying, man, look, that is awesome. You get this, all the events and stuff that they have with the Final Four. They really do a great job. I mean, if you like sports, man, you got to do that one time. I've been to 2 finals. Amazing.
Yeah. How about RIP to Greg Gumbel? That's the one thing that's missing about this year's tour.
Yeah.
You know, he would have loved it. He would have, had he been
I
there.
take my hat off, Greg Gumbel.
Yeah. Greg Gumbel definitely missing from this year's tournament and his voice. But I'm having a good time watching Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith and those NBA guys, talking about the tournament. And I'm going to watch a little bit, but I can't promise you that I'm going to get excited. Like, I'm really looking forward to watching the ladies. Paige Beckers in Connecticut, Juju Watkins, and Southern Cal. And I'm also looking to see what, the South Carolina women do.
Dawn Staley.
Yeah. So a lot of stories there. It's going to be interesting. So that's the plans on the rest of the weekend here. And before we get out of here, Fitz, we have to acknowledge the greatness, even though they got blown out at home. But how about your boy, Bronny James, last night? Bronny James looking like a man possessed, delivering 17 big points, looking like his daddy, stunting like his daddy.
That's a hot topic, boy, man. The one we started with, talking about Bronny James. Woo.
Yeah. Wow. I love seeing it. I love seeing it. I love seeing it because I'm sick and tired of the Stephen A. LeBron debate. I love the fact that Bronny finally got to silence some people in a real game, and then he got real respect because at the end of the game, even though Luka didn't play, Austin Reeves didn't play, the Lakers basically rolled out this.
Oh yeah, they had the C team out there. Yeah. They got smashed.
But
they got smashed.
Bronny looked like he belonged.
Jeff, it looks like the Lakers are kind of gearing it down for the playoffs. They don't really care what seed they're going to get. But
Yeah.
we've seen what they look like when they're healthy, when they got the center, they got Rui Hachimura, LeBron with Luka. They're going to be dangerous, man, even as a 5 or 6 seed. Because they can score. When they have all those guys out there, and Luka is going to probably be in shape right when the playoffs. Because remember, he's missed a lot of games.
Yeah.
And Golden State is burning Steph out. They're burning the candle to get up to their ranking where they are. But they had to sit Steph because he's worn out, man.
Yeah.
And that's what scares me about them. They're using it all up just to get to the playoffs.
Well, I mean, it's going to be competitive. I'll give you that. Jenny Jones wants us to acknowledge the greatness.
Her greatness. Oh, Jenny.
You gotta love Jenny, man. You gotta love Jenny. You gotta love Jenny. Nobody works harder.
Yeah, the hardest working woman in South Florida.
The hardest working woman.
Hardest working. Jenny Jones.
Yeah. Jenny be working, man. She says, Bleacher Report says, Stephen A. and LeBron's relationship may be over. Folks, they never had a relationship. They don't like each other. Like
LeBron got $1 billion, man. There's a lot of people he can go without talking to.
Stephen A. ain't hurting either. And he made it very clear. I don't wake up in the morning thinking about, damn, I wish I could have been LeBron's friend. That's just who he is. He's doing his job. I'm done with that story. But
yeah, thank you.
But they don't have to like each other.
Oh.
I know a lot of folks, that may not like Jeff Fox and ain't gotta like me. I ain't gotta like
Rich Davis.
That's the way to go through life. If you don't like somebody, just don't mess with them. You go your way, I'll go mine.
Jeff Fox, we must admit this though and acknowledge this. Conversation about LeBron James since he entered the league, for any sports talk around the nation, you could talk about LeBron James, hold a whole show. And a lot of sportscasters and beat reporters who follow LeBron James, they've become very successful and wealthy behind LeBron James. And you have to acknowledge that. I think about Brian Windhorst, was a beat reporter. And that guy has a huge platform now on ESPN. And a lot of that was from covering LeBron James and having access. So Stephen A., I know he's your friend, but come on. Him, as well as Skip Bayless, they talked about LeBron James for better part of 20 years.
Oh, yeah. Listen, everybody benefited off of him.
Everyone has benefited.
Down to the damn people in the concession stands. Like, we all love him, and we're going to miss him whenever he walks away from the game. But I think it was just pretty cool last night to watch his son dominating the LeBrons on the sideline. That's my boy. That's my boy. In the NBA, where they said he didn't belong. And then I'm not saying he proved himself last night, but he is trending in the right direction. Like, he looked like he belonged. The passes, the rebounding, the three-point shooting. Bronny was doing it all. And I loved seeing it. Not just liked seeing it. Love seeing it. So we're about to get about it, man. Jenny Jones, we are thinking about you. We will look forward to seeing you when we reconvene here on the.
Miss you, Jenny.
Yeah. So we're about to get about it. Fitz, you have a great day. I'm gonna go watch me some college hoops as well, and we'll reconvene on Monday, man. Have a great weekend.
Peace out.
It's nothing DEI about Jackie Robinson. And for there to be a mistake made of that nature, if that indeed what it was, that's atrocious. You had the irony of young black soldiers dying, fighting the exact same racism in another country that we were being asked to accept here.
Sure.
President Trump, I'm happy to sit down with you to have that conversation, sir. I'd love for you to try to defend it. Vice President Vance, You too. Pete Hegseth, you too. Stephen A. Smith is calling you out on national television. I'd love for you to sit down with the cameras rolling and try to defend this. It's ridiculous.
Well, and on my day when we played the New York Yankees today, I think we might have beaten them.
Really?
And we played that day. We know we played Major League All-Star. We won the majority of the games from the the Major League All-Star. But it wasn't that we were better than the Major League All-Stars, but the fact is the Major League All-Stars were actually just making a payday. But we had to prove, we were trying to prove to the world that they weren't superior because they were white.
Right.
And we weren't inferior because we were black.
Yeah.
We had a point to prove. So we would stretch that single into a double, that double into a triple, that triple into a home run.
Did you, tell us about Jackie Robinson.
Ooh, outstanding individual. And Jackie was so different than we were because we were acclimated to segregation. But now Jackie came to the Monarchs in 1945. We'd been going to a filling station in Oklahoma for 20 years, the Monarchs. We'd never gone to the restroom because on the door it said for white men only. So Jackie's there, and we played that night in this town, and the next day we go to the filling station to get some gas. The man put the hose in the tank, said, "Oh, you boys were wonderful as usual. They filled the park up. Good to see you." Jackie got off the bus, started walking to the restroom. He said, "Boy, where you going?" He said, "I'm going to the restroom." He said, "Boy, you know you can't go to that restroom." Jackie said, "Take the hose out the tank." Now the man thought then, because we got a 50-gallon tank on this side. We got a 50-gallon tank on that other side. He's not going to sell that much gas, to one customer until we got back there again. You know what he said? "You boys can go to the restroom, but don't stay long."
Comes down to economics a lot of times, doesn't it?
Of course. But the gist of that story is this. From that day on, we never got gas at the station. We couldn't go to the restroom. We never played in a town that they didn't have a place for us to stay and to eat. Jackie said, "Listen, you're playing, you're making money for these people. This is a capitalistic society. You don't have to take these things." Thank you, Jackie.
Wow. Wow. What a great way to end the show, man. We'll see you later.
The Jeff Fox Show, brought to you by Remix Sports Media.